score, rebound, and passing.
He's an outstanding player. Really curious to see how Georgia will defend him, who they'll assign to him. But again, this is a well-coached South Carolina State team. A lot of pride in their program. When they played their Peter schools so far this season, they've either won or battled to the end. Very close game. So it should be a good contest tonight.
And here we go. South Carolina State controls that opening tip, and it is Mitchell Taylor, who is a sophomore from Atlanta, running the point. They work it in the left corner. Now on the left wing, Taylor falling down. Blue Kane comes up with a loose ball. He and McKenzie collide. And this will be on Collard McKenzie. That'll be his first. Transfer from Spartanburg Methodist, a native of beautiful Charleston, South Carolina. You see the Georgia starting five. It's been this five for almost every game, and to me, that's a good sign. I like when my starting nine and my starting five's the same every time out.
Agree 100% with that. I think most coaches do. You don't want to juggle the line. Guys go off a good start. And the guys who are coming off the bench now get a feel for it. They know what to study, sit by the coaches, pick up what's going on. South Carolina State with a three-quarter court trap.
Boy, that was nearly a 10-second count. Good job by Coach Eric Martin coming with the pressure there.
Coach Martin's going to play 11 guys tonight, so I expect to see a lot of pressure coming from South Carolina State.
Man, there's another foul out high. This is going to be on Taylor, as we said, an Atlanta native. That'll be his first and the team's second. Yeah, they got 11 players that average double-digit minutes or more.
And Coach Martin, man, he was a stud. He brought the physicality to the Cincinnati Bearcats on their great teams under Coach Huggins.
And he was part of that Bob Huggins tree. He was on their 1992 Final Four team and an assistant with Coach Huggins. And there you see the block there coming from Jones. South Carolina State on the run. Taylor against Demery. He misses it. Kane with a tip. And it'll come down to Asa Newell. And another foul. That's 3 fouls early on South Carolina State. That's number 2 on McKenzie. This is where they got to be careful, Slon. Georgia's on pace to be at the foul line very early in this game.
They really are. It changes the whole landscape of the game. It just gives you a different feel. But 2 of them are almost accidental, right?
Right.
You go for loose balls.
And McKenzie knew it. He's saying, oh, my goodness, you just hate to waste one like that. And now another guard, Michael Teal, will come in, a 6'1" senior from Alexandria, Virginia. And here comes that pressure. Kane here to Lawrence. Lawrence with a nice pass. R.J. Godfrey against a triple team. And there's another block by Drayton Jones. That's his second. Now, these Bulldogs from Orangeburg, South Carolina, coming out with fire on defense. They get it to Jones. Middle block left side. Faces up against Newell. Great matchup there. Good spin move on the baseline. Can't finish. And it's Lawrence. Very good rebounding guard, Slime.
Yes, he is. And again, what a pace of the game so far. It is going at it. Guys are going up and down the floor. It'll be a lot of fun this afternoon.
Coach Martin working the officials, and Silas Demery said that's going to be number 4 on South Carolina State, as number 4 in blue. Caleb McCarty picks up the personal. And we talk about that coaching tree there. He was an assistant coach with Bob Huggins when West Virginia made it to the Final Four. Not too many guys who can say they've been to the Final Four as both a player and a coach, but he can.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, got a storied career, and he's done a good job at South Carolina State. Illegal screen.
All right, this is going to be against Georgia's Asa Newell. That'll be his first. When they came out with that pressure, Slime, I'm going back. I remember the first time Arkansas came into the gym with 40 minutes of hell with Nolan Richardson.
What a game that was. We beat them that first time.
The Dogs sure did.
9:30 Tuesday night game, right?
I just remember Oliver Miller and Reggie Tinch had an exchange.
I had to separate them in the tunnel over there.
That was a bold move by you, as that 3 is knocked down by Omar Krosky, and South Carolina State draws first blood. Good test here for the Dogs. And you never know those games around the holidays, Slon, especially that first game back from Christmas, not eating the sugar cookies and the turkey with Mom anymore. And here's another foul. This one's going to be on Krosky, and that is 5 fouls on South Carolina State already.
2 minutes of play, then 3 of them are just shouldn't have happened, right? Contact there, there's no reason to be bumping and shouldering guys there. And Coach Martin, he got a call, the illegal screen on Newell. They're working those officials, but he's going to have to keep working here, try to get this thing evened out.
So you got between Tinch and the big oh my gosh.
I never had a hand in each one of their chests and said to myself, what am I doing? I have a family. What am I doing?
Here's Lawrence to Cade. R.J. Godfrey out high. Back to Lawrence. Jones goes out to get him. Godfrey's open with a 2-hand flush. Nice ball movement.
Great patience, good feed by Lawrence. Can get those inside touches. the high percentage shots established early in the game.
Well, back in the 80s, you talk about high percentage shots, and there's a good high percentage shot. Jones with the assist and the finish from Teal. It's a little old-fashioned give and go from the high post.
And usually high post action, that's talking about old school. Without a doubt, you don't see very much any actions out of that except for a sideline screen.
No question, though, this pressure is giving Georgia some trouble. 3 ball by Demry. Won't go. Newell up high. That's going to be 2 on Asa Newell.
Yes.
And let's take a look at R.J. Godfrey's dunk. Just finding the open spot.
Great action. South Carolina State didn't really handle. Again, when they're stirring it up defensively, like they want that shot that Demry just took. They want you to be impatient, shoot 3 quick, and they'll play off the long rebounds there.
And Santos Surreal into the lineup for Georgia. Well, back in the 80s, Georgia was affectionately known as Durham's Dunkin' Dogs, and Mike White's dogs can do some dunking as well. At number 6, he might be up there with Neek and Jumaine Jones and Travis Leslie when it comes to throwing it down.
I would agree with that.
South Carolina State, they bring in Florian Tinabay, and that's no good from Jones. And there's Surreal with his first rebound. Terrific prospect, really playing well. He seems to get better every game. Demry working the point. Surreal out high, and there's a strip and nearly a steal, but it's going to be foul number 6 on South Carolina State, and I believe they're going to get Jones. They will. And Slon, my foul column on the scorebook's filling up too quickly here.
Oh, 3.5 minutes in the game. We might be in the bonus here.
I don't know if I've ever seen it this quick before.
Yes.
But South Carolina State's got the lead. And hey, we talk about it too. These games for both sides, you're wanting to get tested for the league. And for Georgia coming out with this press, it's definitely given Georgia a bit of a standing 8 count here.
It really does. And you probably practice for it. You've seen it on tape. What you got to do now is, some people in your league are also going to trap, press, move, so it prepares you for league play.
Davian Everett out of Columbia, South Carolina in the lineup, comes up with a rebound, and he sets a good screen out high to get Teal open. Nice fake there. Teal doing a good job off the drive. Loose ball. That's off the hands of James Morrow. And there's a turnover. Yeah, it'll be Georgia ball. Now, one thing, too, I think defensively playing so many guys, it can help. No question, just with the energy, with the pressure. Hard to maintain that continuity offensively.
Exactly right. And again, right now, Jones is out of the game. Your leading scorer, your best player, because you got to rest him. He's been out there running all over the court, trying to chase people and trap people.
I feel like we could be watching the Caps and the Rangers with some line changes going on out here. There's Godfrey out for Lawrence. South Carolina State with the early 5-2 lead. There's a lob for Surreal. Can't finish that one, but he'll be at the line. And the Bulldogs are going to be at the line for the rest of this first half, as that'll take us into a timeout. Defensive battle here, and some kind of start here for this Bulldog team. And in fact, that 1931 Georgia basketball team, which was so good, was coached by Herman Stegman. As a foul shot is no good there from Surreal. This building is named for.
That's right.
Coach Stegman.
And took them all the way to the Southern Conference Championship game and lost to Maryland in a heartbreaker. Georgia fans are still complaining about that late call.
Terrible
that game,
call. I think John Clockerty made it. They missed them both. And then the next year, Georgia won the Southern Conference with Rex Enright, who went on to great fame at the University of South Carolina and beat Duke in the semis and North Carolina in the finals.
How about that?
So here's Everett holding it out high. Georgia trying to get some points, and there's a foul on Demry. Slot, if this was a baseball game, we'd have a lot of walks and visits to the mound already. So it's going to be a long 9 today. It's going to be a grinder.
The officials have already established it's not a physical game. If you body contact, we're calling it.
Here's Everett off the entry. And Georgia with Dylan James into the lineup, number 13. Here's Tinabay. Transfer from Georgia Tech Central. Loses a handle, and here's Montgomery with a loose ball. Let's see if he can give this Georgia offense a bit of a jolt. Demry driving, gets a screen. There's another foul, so the Dogs will get back to the foul line. Now this is going to be on Everett. Boy, for this Georgia team, so many impressive numbers out there. First, let's take a look at the drive here, Sly.
Yeah, he was excited. He saw man-to-man defense coming down the floor. No zone trap. Let me take it to the rack, baby.
Well, Georgia Sports Information Director Mike Mobley does such a great job, and a lot of fun stats to throw out there with this start for the Bulldogs. But top 20 in field goal percentage and field goal percentage defense as Denver. Georgia's 0 for 3 at the line, and top 10 in the country, Slon, in block shots and in rebound margin.
Those are impressive numbers. That's against legit competition. So got to build on those, keep those going solid through that carries through the season. Your defense, especially, and your rebounding, just the want-tos to go get the ball. If you keep those going in conference play, you're going to win a lot of basketball games.
Well, for longtime Georgia fans, the biggest win of the year was obviously the one on the flats. But I think big picture, right up there with that, it was that win over St. John's, the bounce back after the lone loss to Marquette.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Jones, man, muscled it right through. Went right through Cyril's chest there. Great move.
Well, I like that. He's shown that drop step towards the baseline and towards the middle. There you see Montgomery in the lane. Beautiful feed, reverse layup, good for James. You know, give Montgomery the credit for the creation.
One stat I look at, the 5 perimeter guys for Georgia that are playing minutes all have positive assist turnover ratios.
Boy, that's a great sign as Krosky can't hit the 3. Demery and the Bulldogs from Athens can tie it with a 2. It's Battle of Bulldogs here. Terrific crowd on a Sunday afternoon. Montgomery between the circles. High post. James. Lob. Cyril. What a catch. Stripped underneath. It'll still be Georgia's possession, but good hands down there by Teal.
Yeah, great weak side help there. He read the whole play, saw the lob coming. Cyril brought the ball down. Have a high lob. Could have kept it up there. Tried to gather himself, and Teal's able to get the strip.
And the official is going to try and step in and say, all right. And that's good communication. Montgomery maybe adding a little spice to these Bulldogs.
He does that. He's going to talk some trash out there.
That's going to be off of South Carolina State. And, of course, so much excitement here in the Bulldog Nation. Kirby Smart and the Bulldog football team with another phenomenal year, getting set to take on Notre Dame Wednesday night in the Sugar Bowl. A tough spot to inbound from the corner. Cyril, shot clock down to 5. Montgomery, I don't know if George is aware. He is. It's going to be short. We got a foul, offensive. Let's see if they get Cyril for this one. They do. Just a grinder's game here.
Yeah, the rotation's going to be interesting for Coach White. Now with foul trouble starting to creep into the Dogs, the Georgia Dogs. South Carolina State already used to play a lot of different people. I don't think anybody being in foul trouble is much of concern to Coach Martin over there.
So Georgia's got 4 fouls, 8 on South Carolina State. Asa Newell with 2 fouls for the Bulldogs, so he's probably done until the second half. Here's Krosky, entry tipped away. Taylor will gather it in. Taylor from left of the circle knocks it down. Good player, Mitchell Taylor out of Atlanta.
They're off to a good start. 9-5 lead.
Little Dolly Parton. Here's LeFew in rear court, working 9-5, and that pressure defense just giving Georgia fits. Here's Montgomery in the corner. Montgomery averaging 19 through his first 2 games. Little cross step and finish for the lefty.
Little Euro. He was determined to get that baseline drive. I thought he might get cut off, but boy, what a great finish.
So Montgomery with an assist and a bucket. And here's Taylor. Offensive, extended, and Montgomery maybe with a little extra step, a little active job. I like it.
Legit call?
Yes.
No doubt about it.
And Montgomery, what he was doing was making sure the officials knew that it was legit.
That's right. Montgomery, obviously, he'll want to be a starter at some point in time, but right now, what he brings to the table off the bench, he has really changed it for the Dogs. So much energy, so much positive plays.
You look at this Georgia team, you've got 7 guys who can go for 20 on a given night.
Yep.
That's a tough scout. There's one of them, LeFew, to Montgomery, who loses a handle. Montgomery on the floor trying to save it. Here's Teal one-on-one with LeFew. Nice finish. I like the lean.
You're trying to draw some contact and finish through it, and LeFew was disciplined enough not to try to block the shot or go after him.
11-7, South Carolina State. Coach Martin working those officials. LeFew steps back. Well, he's got a pretty stroke, too. LeFew and Montgomery, the transfers from Mount St. Mary's. There's a block at the rim by Caleb McCarty out of Biloxi. Here's Teal on the run. South Carolina State trying to extend this lead. Kroski right wing three. No good. Surreal way up high over the rim to gather that one, and he gets popped in the head. And there's another foul, and oh my goodness, they get this one on the big guy now. That's 2 on Drayton Jones. Oh boy, so you got Newell for Georgia, you got Jones and Taylor for South Carolina State, all with 2. Wow.
Yeah, adding up.
Yeah, and McKenzie got the 2 very early. I think he had to come out, what, 2 minutes in?
That's right.
So here's Surreal back to the line where he missed his first 2.
I think both coaches will put both of those players back in the game. You have to learn how to play with 2 fouls,
That's right.
It's be good for Newell, especially as a freshman. Go in there. Early in the season, I think it may happen already. And learn how to play good defense without fouling, get setting good screens, all things you have to do. They need him on the floor. If they're going to move forward and be the best possible team they can be, Newell needs to play. So I wouldn't be surprised to see both of those guys, Jones for South Carolina State, Newell for Georgia, come back in the basketball game.
And we've seen from Newell, he is a very intelligent basketball player. So I agree with you, so I think that'd be a good test, and we'll see if Mike White goes in that direction. Cyril?
Especially when you have enough depth like Georgia does, you can risk it. He does get his third, and hey, it's an opportunity for somebody else.
Well, it's 11-8, South Carolina State. Little spin move outside by Jaden Johnson and a steal. Georgia with numbers. Montgomery will take it and finish strong.
What a play. Great defense. He's got quick hands, gets us in there. What a step-through move to explode for that dunk.
Got the big man Everett out high. That brings this crowd alive.
I thought Montgomery's on the uneven parallel bars at the finish there.
Oh, nice move, and Surreal alters the shot, comes up with a board, and Georgia with a chance to take the lead for the first time, and it's nearly a turnover. Lawrence can't quite catch his own pass as it was deflected 3 times. Here's Johnson in the lane, scores over the outstretched arm of Surreal.
I can't believe he went and challenged him, but he did, went right at him.
13-10, South Carolina State, midway through this first half. R.J. Godfrey get a check back in for the Dogs. We'll see Justin absent for the first time. I think McKenzie's going to come back for South Carolina State. LeFew 3, good, we're tied.
LeFew has just been such a game changer for this team. His ability to shoot the 3 from the bench, he has changed so many games this season with his hot hand, great form, beautiful stroke.
This is the first time Georgia has not trailed. It was 3-0 South Carolina State. And Teal able to keep the handle. Johnson with a 3. That's an air ball. Montgomery has it. Now the Dogs can take the lead. 10.5 to go in the first. Montgomery nifty move, and I think they get Everett for a reach. They do, and that'll take us into a timeout. And free throws coming for Georgia. There you see the spice in the recipe. Deshane Montgomery, coach as well. I think for Coach Martin there, who obviously was so vital to Bob Huggins' great teams there. You know, getting your toes in the water and stepping into that head coaching job. And hey, for anybody who's a head coach, you all get that first opportunity. I know he's excited about it.
No question about it. For him, again, it's an opportunity. Do well, build a program at South Carolina State, and who knows what doors will open up down the road for a bigger job if he wants that in his career. But he has a great pedigree, been around a great coach, been a part of winning programs. He knows what it takes, what a roster should look like, how a program, the culture, it all should have.
Montgomery gives Georgia its first lead. Boy, Coach Huggins, being a Georgia native there, came on down and got Antonio Wingfield and Keith Legree out of the state. It's intense recruiting battles.
Herb Jones out of junior college, Butler, but out of Brown High School. I helped Herb get to Butler Community College, and Hugs got him out there.
Here's Everett out high, guarded by R.J. Godfrey. What an addition he's been. Son of Randall Godfrey is one of the great football players in Georgia history. McKenzie, a little trouble with the handle going up against Kane. Everett, 6 to shoot. Little back cut by Teal. He can't finish at Godfrey. Boy, how about the ground he covered to snare that rebound?
He really did. That's great rotation. He's hungry. He's hungry for rebounds. He's trying to do everything he can to get them.
Kane with a good drive. He'll take that one hard to the hole. Another rejection. This one from McCarty. He's got 2 off the bench. Teal loses a handle. Huge break for Georgia.
South Carolina State's had 3 or 4 point-blank shots that they have not finished. Can you imagine if they had made them so far?
LeFew over for Kane. And we got a whistle. Georgia's got 4 turnovers. South Carolina State's got 5. And Johnson picks up that foul. That'll be his first. Dogs back to the line. Double bonus time. It's the turnovers. I know too many for Mike White's liking, but still big picture. I think what you're seeing here, Georgia just can't get to any kind of rhythm offensively.
When you play a team like this, that's what Coach Martin's plan is, right? Disrupt you, don't get comfortable, limit those inside touches, make you shoot shots, foul it. They're fouling a lot. Even their season stats are not in a big difference. But Lawrence getting now kind of like contagious. Georgia's missed some free throws. Or the free throw percentage so far is not good. 3 for 9.
4 for 10 now, and Georgia does have the lead, but it's been a little bit ragging. Like we said, both sides. That first game after Christmas, you just don't know. The last game before and the first game
That's
after.
Right.
McKenzie open 3 for the lead. In and out, no good. Everett, great rebound. Up strong, he finishes, and we're tied.
Yeah, somebody missed a box out assignment. Great for him to ever crash those boards, get to the glass.
Here's LeFew, now Godfrey. Kane with 9 minutes to play in the first half. Absent with the high screen. LeFew gets cut off. Loose ball. Teal all over the place. Kane.
Great hustle.
This is terrific effort both sides there. McKenzie with a loose ball, and Michael Teal's been lights out off the bench.
He really has. What a difference maker he's been so far in this basketball game. A lot of it on defense, but man, South Carolina State kids, Coach Martin, like I said, he was the physicality guy with the Cincinnati Bearcats. They're first to the floor tonight. They are down there. Every loose ball.
And they got a new line shift. They got 5 new players waiting to come in, and Johnson gives South Carolina State the lead right back. There you see the 5 new subs looking to come in. The Georgia stat crew's having a lot of fun with this.
As the half goes on, you can see the confidence just building for South Carolina State.
LeFew 3 to give Georgia the lead. It's good.
That'll stop some momentum right there. Whoop you, boy, money.
And that's distance on that one. So Georgia back out in front, 18-17.
A little slap to the face there by LeFew unintentionally to Johnson. Play on. Might have been called in the first 2 minutes of the game, but not there.
Johnson lefty for the lead. No good. Rebound. Great effort underneath. McCarty out left. A 3-point foul on Blue Kane. And McKenzie will shoot 3 when we return. Back and forth we go. Georgia with an 18-17 lead. All right, South Carolina State will have 3 free throws coming as Georgia leads by 1. South Carolina State's led for 7.5 minutes. Georgia for just 1:40. And how about these streaks on the line here for Georgia? That's what South Carolina State's trying to break.
That's a beautiful thing to look at. Stats to look at. Mike Mobley digging those out. I'm loving it. We've been in a tough 5-year stretch here. And Coach White, what a tremendous job he's done in year 3. Again, just assembling the roster. Balance between high school kids, transfer portal guys, straight up transfers to the kids from Mount St. Mary's, and it all come together to make a really good basketball team.
McKenzie hits the first free throw. Of course, we knew about Mike White. Did an outstanding job at Florida. Really built his career at Louisiana Tech, where he did a great job there. Came in here and beat Georgia at the NIT in impressive fashion. And one of the things, and Slime, I brought this up with both Josh Brooks, Georgia's outstanding J. Reed Parker, Director of Athletics, and with Marcus Thornton. One of the other candidates for this Georgia job was Jonas Hayes, a beloved player here at Georgia, was a tremendous assistant here for Mark Fox. And when Coach White got the job, now Jonas wound up getting the Georgia State job. He and Jarvis doing great work there. But had Jonas not gotten that job, Mike White wanted Jonas to be his associate head coach. And you've been on both sides of this. What that says to me about the lack of ego or concern, right. I mean, that just spoke volumes to me for Mike White.
Yeah, Coach White, when everybody asks me about him, I say it all starts with he's a great human being. He's a great person. And then we'll talk about coaching and the rest of it there. But obviously, outstanding coach, knows the league, was an outstanding player. Even Ole Miss to NCAA tournaments back in the day. And then knows all his years at Florida, replacing a legend, which is really tough to do.
There's a great little jump hook there from R.J. Godfrey and an offensive foul on Krosky. That'll be his second. no free throws on that. Hey, and if RJ can get that little baby hook down, I wonder if he and Randall might have been working on that down in Valdosta. I don't know.
I know, they may have last couple days. But again, he's, his size, he's going to be going against bigger and taller guys throughout the season. And if he can get that jump hook off, there's some separation from the defender and gets it up and over people, it can be a very effective shot for him down and low in the paint.
That's the great thing about the hook, because you've got, as Slon said, the separation. You've got that left shoulder creating that body space, and he's a wide body. And good call, Slon, by the way. Asa Newell back in.
There's a 1-2-2 zone we haven't seen yet.
Blue Kane for three. Too strong. And Drayton Jones also back in. Slon 2 for 2 right there.
There you go. Those guys need to play. They need to be on the floor and keep this game competitive. Both coaches feel that way. Have your best player out there, and they learn how to play with 2 fouls.
And Georgia got Godfrey on Jones. Nice move by Jones. I think Godfrey got a hand on that one. Nope, they'll say that was just off of Jones. I think, Son, that might have been one that kind of slid down the palm and didn't get a clean look at it.
He wasn't sure which way to go, but left shoulder, right shoulder. The year 1990, when the Dogs won the only regular season SEC championship in school history, one of the great rules that we experimented with in the SEC that year was 6 fouls.
Loved it.
Love it. Kessler, we were able to keep Alec Kessler. Got 2 fouls. Hey, don't look over the bench. Keep playing, boy.
You got 2.
There you going, Alec. Keep playing.
Tibry with a good drive. Floater. Short. Rebound Jones. I think, in my opinion, too, I think if you go to overtime, everybody playing ought to get an extra foul. And I wouldn't mind them resetting, as Taylor will shoot from 18 and miss it. I wouldn't mind them resetting and say you don't shoot free throws until the 3rd foul in overtime, just to get a little more flow going. And Georgia turns it over.
I think things that can make the game better, we've seen professional baseball do what a lot of old school people thought were doing. Oh, we can't do a pitch count. Made the game better, right?
Oh, and I love the runner at second and extra innings.
Yeah, speeds it up. And so same thing for us. So when you look at it from a basketball perspective, these are positive things that get your players, you want your best players on the floor. And
the shot clock reset to 20 on an offensive rebound has been great. The first time I noticed that with international ball down in Rio at the Olympics, I got to cover that. It went from 24 to 14, and great for the pace of play. Right. Oh, nice feed from Jones. Teal, double pass. There's going to be a foul, and Morrow will go to the line to shoot too. Slide, like I said, if this was hockey, Gretzky and Messier both get the assist. In hockey, 2 guys could get it.
There you go. I guess they called it on Godfrey, not Newell there.
So we'll see. The official, whatever, signaled 2-2, but that's who's shooting actually right now. So that'll be on Godfrey, and that'll be his first. So here we go with Morrow at the line. It is a 20-20 tie. Morrow out of Jacksonville, Florida, knocks down the first. Again, South Carolina State has led for a majority of this first half. We always say the longer the underdog hangs around, the more the underdog believes it can win. Well, the underdog's not just hanging around, the underdog's winning.
Yes. They want everything they can to try to be there with 5 minutes to go in the basketball game and say, hey, guys, we can win a 5-minute game. Just be around. We can do that.
Well, I think especially if you come in as a heavy underdog, too, if this thing's tight with 5 minutes, you see Montgomery handling the right wing, crowd can get tight. Players feel that. And that's going to be a reach. And I think this is going to be on Taylor. It is, and now that's his 3rd. So that's our first player with 3 fouls.
So that's tough for him, especially being an Atlanta guy. You want to be on the floor as much as you can, right?
He's playing well. So here's R.J. Godfrey at the line. Godfrey, a huge part of that terrific Clemson team last year that made that great run. Oh!
Wow.
He's got 5. Leading scorers in this game, 6 for Dakota LeFew, and a pair of South Carolina State Bulldogs, Teal and Johnson, have 4. It's a grinder. I mean, you can really see it for those first couple of possessions. The full court pressure from South Carolina State giving Georgia fits. Now the Dogs of Georgia back on top. And no doubt, you mentioned this too, Slon, South Carolina State not backing down.
They really aren't. They're up for the challenge. Again, they just keep gaining confidence as the game goes along.
Wilson Dubinsky wears number 11. He'll fire from 3 and knock it down. Instant offense. He averages 8.2, one of the leading scorers for South Carolina State. And the team from Orangeburg back in front. Asa Newell might have gotten away with a walk.
Yes, he did.
Kane to Newell. Asa looking for his first points. Might have forced that one a bit. And here's Teal coming back the other way. Teal is a jet. Great quicks. Good pass. Corner 3 won't go. And I think this might be on Godfrey as well. Let's check. See if Jones get locked up.
Montgomery grabbed Jones's arm and pulled him away, and they called it on Jones.
Wow.
Let's see.
Boy, that's a big blow. That's his third. Great look there from Dubinsky.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
And I think they're going to go to the monitor for this one, Slon, if you want to get one of our officials to come. Okay. We're going to check. Yep. This is one of the newer things in hoops, as we say. Now, we got a chance, and I get what they're doing here. One of the things that drives me nuts, late in games, too much time at the monitor, just kills the pace of play.
They have to improve that. It's maddening.
And whether it's football, basketball, baseball, my take is if you can't tell, replay was put in for it to be something obvious. If you can't tell within 15, 20 seconds, you just got to go with the original call. It was put in to be, he dropped the ball. It was clearly out of bounds off of him. But in the effort to get it right, and I get that, just the pace of play, it gets hammered.
Yeah, it does. The one specific play I see over and over again that drives me nuts, they get, a player's got it, let's see here, he does get dragged. Yeah, it looks like Montgomery had him by the arm.
I think this is just going to be a play on here.
Yeah, Jones wasn't pushing at all, in my opinion, but we'll see what the officials decide.
And this is what now you get into, well, they were reviewing to see if it was more, and like, golly, we banged the wrong guy here. Can they overturn it? And a lot of this is subjectivity here. Well, we saw an overturned call in Austin, Texas back in October.
Please do not throw anything. But hey, for Jones, again, 2 fouls, get a third here. Wouldn't be fair to him in this situation.
See Montgomery trying to block him out. You see the hook, and those things happen.
Yeah, Jones may have hooked him. He may have put that arm up.
That might just be a play on. The review at the monitor here. I don't think this is going to be one of those where they add anything to it. And here we go, Slime. We'll get a full report on it. All right, good call, good job.
The foul has been switched to white 2 for a hold.
So that's going to be on Shane Montgomery, and a good job going to the monitor. I think, too, my big take here on replay for any sport, I think you got to go to a challenge system, too, and you have 2 or 3, whatever.
The NBA's doing more of that, right?
And you just choose it whenever you want. Because one problem we have, too, in basketball, this game we love so much, just naturally because of fouls, coaches hang on to the timeouts. The last 2 minutes of a basketball team can take a long time. Now you throw the monitor into that.
Well, coaches, coaching friends I talked to said they don't mind burning their timeout total with 3 minutes to go in the game because they know they're going to get 2 more with monitor checks later on.
Exactly. But just like anything to speed up the pace is good. Here's Blue Kane for 3 and the lead. That won't go. And I believe that's going to be off of Godfrey. Nope, they're going to say it went off of South Carolina State. So it'll be Georgia's possession. The Dogs with 2 made threes and 6 tries.
Only 17 field goal attempts for Georgia because of the foul situation. And the free throw line more often. Haven't really converted many of those, 6 for 14. So it just adds to a low point total.
Kane again, this time from the left corner. That one too strong. And a nice rebound there. Tenabay as he was fighting Montgomery for it. Godfrey, good perimeter defense, and he catches up at the post this time, but he's going to be whistled now for his second foul. So 8 fouls for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Georgia's crashing 3.5 guys to the boards, and South Carolina State's in the second and third time this game. They're looking for that quick outlet. That's good coaching by the coaching staff of South Carolina State to recognize that. Say, guys, when we get past that tidal wave of guys crashing, we get some easy opportunities down the floor.
Morrow hits the first. And a bit of housekeeping here. 1 foul has been changed. It was signal early on Godfrey actually went to Kane, went to
That's right.
0 instead of 1-0. So Kane has 2 and Godfrey has 1. South Carolina State with a 3-point lead, trying to break all these streaks and pull off the big upset. Morrow hits them both. And Son, they have been in control for a majority of this game.
They really have. They've been the aggressors. Again, great game plan by Coach Martin coming in. Georgia's has not seen a lot of this type defense, and they got to get used to it.
And you know what?
Practice against it, but it's different playing teams that know how to do it. They do it for a living.
And Mike White's looking at whoever scheduled this as the first game coming out of Christmas. Go, what are you doing to me here? Here's R.J. Godfrey on the drive. Can't finish. And here's South Carolina State back the other way. Johnson to the boards. Love the headband there. Shades of slick watch.
Coach Durham almost fired me one year. I scheduled Bucknell. They won 25 games that year with the NCAA tournament. I think we beat them at the buzzer. Coach is not happy.
Here's Tinabay for Everett. Shot clock at 6. Good drive and kick there from Dubinsky. And money again from number 5, Jaden Johnson. He's got 6 off the bench, and South Carolina State leads by 6. And getting a little uncomfortable here as Montgomery drives. Good pass. LeFew for 3. Misses it. Rebound. South Carolina State, and a foul on Surreal. And that'll take us into a timeout. South Carolina State with the lead. Free throws coming. And big bucket there from Jaden Johnson on the SEC Network. 103 to 152. Time with the lead. Had 6 lead changes and 5 ties, and Georgia's in a drought right now.
It took Georgia a while to get that lead, so that shows South Carolina State, usually when a team is down early, the SEC team's down early, and they take the lead, they just go blow by you, right? South Carolina said, not today, not this afternoon. We're hanging in there, and they built themselves a 6-point lead.
And here's Dubinsky at the line. It's a ton of free throws. Here's the thing, both teams have 6 made free throws. Georgia's tried 5 more. As Dubinsky hits the first, that's just another differential now. So South Carolina State is now 7 out of 9, and Georgia's 6 out of 12. Make it 8 out of 10. So they have attempted 2 fewer free throws, but have made 2 more.
Yeah, I'm really impressed with the rebound margin right now. Georgia's up 2, but they've dominated the mid-major teams that have come in here on the boards. South Carolina State has really fought.
And there's another turnover. That's Georgia's 7th. And again, getting a little uncomfortable here in the Stegman Coliseum for the Georgia faithful. Down by 8. South Carolina State with the ball and control. Surreal. That was close to an over and back, even off the deflection, as McCarty touched it initially. Tinabay. Everett out high. Tinabay with a crossover. Shot clock down to 3. He saw it on the back end. He'll force it up at the buzzer, and it'll be Georgia's possession. Oh, yeah, another thing with this too, Slaughter, you did, 10,000 scouting reports in your career. For a team like South Carolina State that plays so many guys, you've got a player, say like Tinabay, because he might not even be on page 2 of your scouting report, or a player like Jaden Johnson who's played so well.
Yeah, exactly right. For Georgia, to say, who are these guys? But for South Carolina State, it's like, hey, guys, this is what way we're playing. Here's some of the actions that Georgia runs, but we're not going to give you too much information. Just play. Here's how we're going to play these little actions. We're going to play our style. We're going to play the way we play basketball.
And that's another live ball turnover. Johnson coming up with that steal. South Carolina State with a chance to go up by double digits. As Tinabay drive will step back from 17. Too strong. They're on the window. That's going to be a push. And let's see if they get Everett for this one, as the officials confirm. It's going to be on McCarty.
That was a legit call. Good call right there.
Let's see if Georgia can get something done at the foul line. South Carolina State with a 30-22 lead over Georgia. Just nothing coming easy for the Bulldogs from Athens. And Coach Eric Martin doing a great job with this team. And here's Cyril at the line. He is 1 out of 4 from the stripe. They get 1 out of 5. You hit it early, Slide. Struggles at the line, it could get contagious.
It really does. He's been working hard on his free throws, showing some improvement. But he is having a tough night tonight.
And Georgia, 72% as a team coming in, under 50 here today. Somto missed them both. That was a line drive, and the rebound comes down to Teal, who's arguably been the MVP of this game.
He got him off to a great start once he came in the game, really sparked him his hustle, right?
And there's a foul on Montgomery out high. Just a slew of fouls on my score sheet here on the left side of the players' numbers and stats where I keep my fouls. It's just
20 of them so far in the game. Jeff.
Overflow.
Yes, sir. More than 20, I guess, but more than 10. I'm sure there's been a few more than that.
Yeah, we are way up there as Johnson will go to the line. Jaden Johnson, a 6'1" freshman out of Brooklyn. Southpaw hits the first. He averages 2.7. He got 7 points, and it's 31-22. Silas Demery back in for Georgia. This is probably one of those I'm sure Mike White would say, we need to see our guys get tested. I don't think he wanted a test like this.
No. There's a big crowd here in the last game before conference play. But again, we're going to find out about the Dogs, how they can adapt, how they respond to adversity. Again, not played well. South Carolina State's got a lot of reasons for why they haven't played well, but again, just a careless turnover there.
Boy, South Carolina State by 10 with the ball, a 3 to go up 13, rattles in. Holy smokes, Teal has 7, and South Carolina State is stunning the Georgia Bulldogs. 35-22. Demery getting inside. LeFew, Georgia needs a bucket. Good pass. Dogs need this 3, but it's too strong. Big board there by James. LeFew with 18 to shoot. And it is beyond nervous time. I know we're just in the first half. Demery spinning and backing in. Shot clock at 7. Lawrence for 3. No good. Georgia just ice cold. Cyril around the rim, blocked, and a foul. With 50 seconds to go in the first half, and Georgia getting look after look, but just can't finish.
Yeah, missed some good open threes right there. Couldn't convert them. Again, fouling Cyril for South Carolina State. A good defensive play right now. He's not making free throws. You get a stop right there.
So that is 3 fouls now on Everett. Let's see from Mike White and his staff. So we'll talk about this when we start the second half. What adjustments Georgia's going to make in the locker room. He's going to have some work to do on the fly.
And the defense is going to pick up. I think it's going to challenge them defensively, put more pressure, try to create our own. Georgia create their own turnovers that can convert into easy buckets in transition. And let them know, hey, we're getting out rebounded. Rebound margin's pretty even here. We need to dominate the boards, and then be more patient. Make that one extra pass offensively to get a higher percentage shot than the one we're looking at.
Somto Cyril hits them both, and right now, hey, when he goes to the bench, hey, you're 2 for your last 2. You're shooting 100% on your last 2. Good stroke there.
Yep. Congratulate him. Again, good for him to bounce back. They're a 1-for-6 start.
South Carolina State by 11. They've led by 13. And have led for a vast majority of this first half. Dubinsky between the circles to Johnson. Here's Teal for 3. This one's short. South Carolina State on the board. Johnson, good. South Carolina State by 14. Johnson averages 2.7.
Dealing, wheeling and dealing.
So way to go, the man in the headband, Jaden Johnson. See Brooklyn, I think, of the intro to Welcome Back, Cotter. There's a slight difference, game clock, shot clock. Georgia down by 14. Demery. South Carolina State going to back off. See if they come with some pressure when that clock hits about 9 or 10.
Playing man. I thought they might show that 1-2-2 zone. They're going to play man. Demery's going to try to go to that rack.
As a block, Georgia wanted the goaltend. McCarty with a great play. South Carolina State with time. Johnson, why not at the buzzer? Oh, my goodness.
Wow. Woo. What a block. Are they going to look at that goaltend? I think they're going to look at Coach White's asking.
Jaden Johnson with a tray from just past midcourt.
Wow.
From Uga's paw to give South Carolina State a 17-point lead. Coca-Cola and some chips, and everybody we talked to just kind of a little bit floored right now because they love this team, and this is such a fun team to watch and cheer for. And my goodness, they have gotten more than a test for the Bulldogs from South Carolina State. So here we go, half number 2. And Georgia with the ball to start the second half. Get a 20-2 run. Wow. Well, another important thing, too, is Godfrey spins. Good kick out to Kane. You can't come down and have a 10-point possession.
That's right.
You have to stay patient. And there's a reach and a foul. Just chip away. And another thing, too, with the early, this is going to be on Krosky, with the early foul trouble that South Carolina State had, that increases the odds even more that this would have happened.
Yes, they really overcame that, fought through it. The game kind of leveled off on the fouling, but Georgia got caught up in some fouls, too, careless fouls they don't normally make. So you got to be more disciplined defensively.
Godfrey over to Lawrence. Lawrence gets inside. That's blocked from behind, and Jones comes up with a loose ball. Now the first chance for South Carolina State to extend this lead. And Blue Kane going to be called for a foul. Well, mentioning this earlier as well, and we'll take a look at McKenzie getting the block and Jones with a loose ball there. Talking about the crowd, that crowd can get tight and get nervous. The players, you feed off of that, both good and bad. But South Carolina State just coming in here and doing a tremendous job. And Montgomery into the Georgia lineup as Taylor with 3 fouls goes to McCarty. Back to Taylor, guarded by Demry. Georgia in the man. Got an open 3 look. No good this time for number 0, Krosky. And it's Georgia on the run. Demry, good kick. Lawrence 3. The Dogs need it and can't get it. Demry, it's Georgia's second offensive board. He's got them both. He's in too deep. Good defense there from Jones. Here's Asen Newell, who's held scoreless in the first half. And Georgia gets a 3 to go. Silas Demry.
Talk about field goal. One of the things I thought he had to improve on was his leadership skills. He's come out this half. You can see he's talking to his teammates about defense, playing hard, being aggressive, gets offensive rebound, and sticks to 3.
So Georgia with the first 3 points of this second stanza. Here's McCarty. And a great play. Montgomery with a finish. Just like that, Georgia's within 12.
And Montgomery's a difference maker. Quick hands, deflections. And these guys got to get out there defensive and climb back in it.
Here's Jones. Poked away. Loose ball. Jones able to save it. Great hustle from the best player on this South Carolina State roster. 5 to shoot. Here's Taylor through traffic. Nifty move. The floater goes.
Oh, soft touch. He needed that one.
Shot clock down inside of 3. And here comes pressure. Georgia going backwards. Down 14. Godfrey with a good kick. Lawrence, the lefty, good from the left wing.
Big shot. Again, Demry going backwards. Drew those 2 defenders with him. Create a space at the other end. A 4-on-3 difference there at the offensive end. Beautiful shot by Lawrence.
So Georgia within 11. Good screen out high by Jones. He does it all for this team. Chew it on that mouth guard. Krosky. McKenzie 3-ball. Big time answer, South Carolina State.
Yeah, making that extra pass. McKenzie known for a really good 3-point shooter.
Here's Lawrence. I think something else we saw in Georgia's last couple of possessions is Newell will drive. Great head fake there. The spin move and the lefty finishes. A lot of times when that pressure is bothering you, when you beat it and get into forecourt, you kind of catch your breath and hold up. Well, the numbers have flipped to your advantage. That's where you have to go on the attack.
That's
Easier
right.
said than done,
That's
though,
right.
Slime.
That's right.
Here's Taylor with a spin move. Little trouble with a handle. Krosky. Jones faces up against Godfrey. Little sky hook. Misses that one. Rebound to Asa Newell. So Georgia can cut it to 10 with a 2. Lob and a big jam from R.J. Godfrey.
Yeah, the Dogs have scored every possession here. Tighten up their defense, create some fast break situations.
And a timeout called by South Carolina State. This is a good one here from Coach Eric Martin.
Listen to the crowd. They're getting back into it.
Well, threes and dunks will get that done for you. Georgia within 10. You see McKenzie with the 3. The Bulldogs battling back with R.J. Godfrey.
A good offensive possession, but we challenge the new coach Webb is going to challenge the team defensively, challenge them on the boards. These are things you can do to get back into basketball games, and it always translates to your offense. You make great defensive plays, get a hand on the ball, dive for a loose ball, down and get a dunk, get a 3. Crowd gets back into it. All the momentum starts going your way.
So Georgia outscoring South Carolina State 12-5 so far here in the second half. Just showing good patience as well. Like we say in football, if you're down 17, you can't get an 18-point possession.
That's right.
You're down 17 here, you can't get it all back at one time. You got to chip away. And there are definitely going to be times when you get into league play, you're going to be down a lot. You just got to fight back.
That's right.
See if Georgia can do it. Here's Krosky.
With a hand on the ball, another deflection.
Everett with a drive against Newell, finishes strong. Well, that's another good sign there for South Carolina State. They get a bit of a break off the deflection, and they take advantage of it.
And good decision by Coach Martin on that timeout. They wanted to go at Newell. They know Newell's a freshman. He's got 2 fouls. Doesn't want to get that third. Tired of being on that bench. They go right at him.
And Everett just picks up his 4th foul as the Dogs from South Carolina State lead it by a dozen.
Quality play, quality teams, great coaching. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Oklahoma taking me back to the great Wayman Tisdale, one
Yes,
of my
sir.
favorite scores. But this league just so good. And for Georgia, obviously, this Bulldogs team has been one of the most impressive teams in the country, but they are taking a standing 8 count. This might be shades of Chuck Webner and Muhammad Ali right now. We'll see if Georgia can recover. Hey, but South Carolina State, in the second half, even though Georgia's outscored the Bulldogs from Orangeburg, they've had a couple big answer buckets here. LeFew off the bench missed. That was a great play drawn up. Asa Newell gets fouled from behind. This will be on Johnson. There you go, Slug. We already see Georgia in the second half get more offensive boards than the Dogs had the entire first half.
They have. Again, I know they were challenged. We've got to dominate these boards, but giving them second chance opportunities. Obviously, value the basketball, no turnovers, but that's something you can do with hustle is get to the offensive glass.
Cyril out for Newell. Now here's Montgomery. Demery off a screen. Well, they're really defending well on the perimeter and running to the ball. A reach and a foul, trying to get the old poke from behind. And this is going to be on McCarty. That'll be his 3rd. Well, they're carrying a heavy foul load, but as Slon pointed out, South Carolina State, they like to go 11 deep, so they feel like they can withstand it.
And you trap and play aggressive defense. That's your style. That's your style of play. You're going to live with fouling. It's part of it, but you're going to take away field goals and have teams try to beat you at the free throw line.
And there's a 3rd foul on this possession. So Georgia got to the bonus very quickly in the first half with 15:50 still to play on a slightly less similar pace here in the second half. Big 3 here won't go. Cyril trying to keep it alive, knocks it out of bounds, so it'll be South Carolina State possession. Well, here's the bottom line too for Georgia. 37%, 26%, 50%. That's your field goal, your three, and your free throw percentage. Hard to win with those numbers against anybody.
No doubt about that. Yeah, nobody's busted out for Georgia. Leading scorer now who's in the game has 7 points. That's Silas Demery. Again,
Johnson. It's another loose ball going to South Carolina State. Morrow, 5 to shoot. Here's Johnson. He finally missed one. Foul on the floor against South Carolina State. So Morrow, he's got his third. That's 6 fouls. Again, not quite the light speed foul pace in the first half, but pretty darn close.
Trying to catch up. And I will say, watching Georgia play this season, they probably oversell contact against them. They do a lot of, their head's just been knocked off, their body's back, and officials that don't see them very often may think it's legit. And when you're South Carolina State and you're playing an SEC school, you just feel, oh man, they're against us.
Demery, big three, and it's single digits.
Yeah, he's done a good job this half, shown some leadership, playing hard, talking to his teammates, knocking down. It's the second three, so Silas Demery really needs to have that, especially win on the road in the SEC. He's got to demonstrate this leadership.
Let's tell me, when you're down a bunch at the half, the messy, all right, we're down 17, let's get it to 12, then to 10, then to single digits. How close is it going to be at that next timeout? Jones underneath, can't finish. The tip won't go, in and out. Teal, goaltending.
A great battle by South Carolina State on the boards. They stayed with it. Jones just can't get it going. Boy, he's got a point-blank shot there, just rimmed down on him. Again, South Carolina State very aggressive, staying the glass, fighting the fight. Again, when you're Mike White and you're talking to your team, you're down 17. Let's win the next 4 minutes.
Right.
Media timeout. Let's win that next 4 minutes. Whether it's by 3 points, 5 points, 1 point, just win each 4-minute segment and you climb back in the game.
Chip away. South Carolina State leads by 11. Montgomery, he finishes. He's got 9 points, leading scorer for Georgia. Just his third game, averaging 19 through the first 2. LeFew hip to hip there with Teal, who's been tremendous off the bench for South Carolina State. Teal and Johnson really showing the way. Jones short on that one. Now Georgia could cut it to 7 with a 2. And the Dogs nearly a careless turnover there. But I think another good lesson here, and South Carolina State playing great defense, as you see Montgomery finish there. But when you get into league play, it's a battle of possessions. So many games on 2, 3, 4, 5 point games. A possession you just give away in the first half, that could have made the difference in the game. Good lesson being learned here today.
No doubt about it. When you get into conference play, there's so many games you'll play that neither team will lead by more than 5 or 6 points at any point in the game. It's always tight, possession to possession. How can you make a run? Can you withstand a run when they do occur? So again, invaluable to say whatever outcome comes. We'll see Georgia. They feel like they can win this game.
And that's going to be a block. And Jones just picked up his 4th.
But you get a lot out of these games. They're competitive, different style of defense. South Carolina State's played than they've seen so far this season. They'll be able to adapt to it.
My mistake's on that's his 3rd because they took away that foul in the first half. Great job by the officials, too, in the first half, getting that one right. Again, I could not read my chicken scratch in my foul column over here, which is the water's coming in the boat faster than we can bail it out with the fouls. So here's Somto Cyril, the talented freshman from Enugu, Nigeria. All net.
3 in a row.
That's right, shooting 100%. Once heard Arnold Palmer say, what about that 3-putt on the 18th? I said, I don't know what you're talking about. I've already forgotten about it. So 50-42, Georgia within 8 with 13-16. And this is just what the doctor ordered for Mike White's team in the first part of the second half. As Georgia trailed by 17 at intermission. That one rattles out no good, and Jones with a rebound. I got to say, too, the hair with Jones, it reminds me of a young Kareem with the Milwaukee Bucks there.
There you go.
As Jones will handle, drive, kick. They move it nicely. Dubinsky, he's good offense off the bench. Here's Teal, a little too strong, and Cyril again up over the rim. Lawrence with Georgia down 8. Kick. 12 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the second half. South Carolina State for the MEAC leading Georgia 50-42. Trying to just pull off a stunner here. These Georgia Bulldogs. 11-1 on the season, one of the best starts in school history. A win today would give the Dogs their best start since a 1931 team opened 12-1. 11-1 matching the 2002 team. Dakota LeFew. There's a kick. And that was a terrific Georgia team. Jim Herrick is the head coach. Had Jarvis and Jonas Hayes, Chris Daniels, Rashad Wright, Ezra Williams, Steve Thomas, Damian Wilkins.
Some ballers there. Now, they played good team basketball, that squad.
So proud when I was doing Georgia radio back then, reading those lineups, saying all those Georgia hometowns like Albany and Statesboro. Here's Surreal. Montgomery. 10 to shoot. LeFew. R.J. Godfrey. 6 on the shot clock. That little hook goes in off the square. That's his second time, Slon.
Yes. And the Dogs have shaved off 11 points in 8 minutes.
Well, when you can outscore the opposition by more than a point a minute, you're doing it right.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Here's Teal. Good kick. Morrow, left wing. Dubinsky thought about the three again. He's an excellent scorer. Shot clock at 8. Just over 12 to play. South Carolina State with the ball up 6. Teal, trouble with the handle. Just heaves one up off the front iron. My goodness, almost went in. Here's Lawrence. Oh, unforced turnover. He got caught in the air. Teal back the other way. Dubinsky keeping it alive. Tenabay, nice fake, loses a handle, and Montgomery called for the foul. Boy, Georgia, though, Mike White hurt that they didn't get the shot off. And he just goes up and hugs Lawrence. Dogs cutting into the lead.
Let's keep being good in those two areas, and good things will happen to us.
And for Mike White, I think mission accomplished, cutting into that lead at each stoppage in play, at each mark. So now you figure that next stoppage will be somewhere around 8. Might get greedy to say, could we have the lead again? But you want to be closer than 6.
That's right. Be down possession at most. And we'll see what Coach Martin's designed on out of bounds action here coming out of the timeout. Earlier, they went right at Newell to try to see if he could get his 3rd foul, see what they designed.
Let's see if Johnson and Teal can keep the magic going for South Carolina State. Dubinsky with a 3, a little bit short. They are getting a lot of loose balls, and that one's taken away. Dimry with the rip and the finish.
Weight room right there, paid off. Strength and conditioning coach gets some kudos to that one. Dimry just ripped it from him.
50-46, closest Georgia's been since 5 minutes to go in the first half. South Carolina State kept building that lead. Dubinsky 3 over Kane. It's good. And another big answer for the Bulldogs from Orangeburg.
That was. And they've answered throughout the game here.
They have hit a slew of clutch threes. Lead back to 7. Takes a little wind out of the sails of this tremendous crowd.
Yeah, quiets them off a little bit.
Here's LeFew. Finish it. Georgia's offensive efficiency has been lights out in the second half. And I've got to say, Slot, Georgia's probably, what would you say, 75% of the possessions here in the second half?
Easily. And LeFew, one thing I really like about him, he goes to that rim and he decides to drive, finish. His eyes are up. He's reading the defense.
Good defense there by Kane against Johnson. Georgia with the ball, down by 5. Chance to make it a 1-possession game. Dimry against Teal. Oh, I like the hesitation.
Yeah, Silas Dimry's been a difference this half. He has really stepped up his game, led his team. Great finish here with the opposite hand.
This is all Mike White could have asked for midway through the second half now. Georgia within 3. Jones getting inside. Godfrey takes it away. The difference in the game right now, Johnson's 3 to end the first half. Here's Dimry. The lob and the big two-hand alley-oop jam from the freshman Asa Newell.
Beautiful action right there. Great penetration, beautiful assist.
Well, you nailed it with Dimry. 10 of his 11 points in the second half and the best pass of the game. Here's Johnson. See if South Carolina State can get that answer. They've got the ball and the lead. And we got a foul on the floor. This is going to be on Georgia's R.J. Godfrey, who has had a big hand in this comeback. And here we see Newell, the extension.
Yeah, Silas Dimmer with the penetration, draws the big man defender away from Newell, makes the reset, trying to force a shot, going in there, challenging, get fouled, makes the beautiful assist. And Asa Newell's had a quiet night offensively. I mean, that's a play that gets him going.
It's a one-point game. South Carolina State with the lead and the ball. That's tipped away by Dimmery. And I think South Carolina State wants time. So a 30-second timeout taken here by South Carolina State. I think a good one here just for Coach Martin to reset. And I think that message, Slide, what we were just talking about, we got the ball in the lead.
That's right.
Let's go from there. If somebody would have told us this morning with 9:20 to go, we're going to have the ball in the lead, I'll take that deal.
He'll take it, but everybody knows human nature. They know what momentum is. Georgia shaved 16 points off the lead. They're right back in. The crowd's into it. Crowd's yelling. Defense is picked up for Georgia. So you say that, you convey it as a player. Very difficult to receive because you know what's happening in the game. So you got to have some good leadership. You got to have poise from a point guard that will make the right plays, right decision, execute the play that Coach Martin's designing right here. Got a baseline out of bounds. Georgia's defending it really well. It's difficult. Let's make sure we get it in. Let's run something good. We got 18 seconds on the shot clock. Get a high percentage shot.
So here's what, do you go to Teal here? Do you go to Johnson? Do you look at Jones? And for Georgia, does maybe Newell off the timeout? Do you put the big man on the inbounds passer here?
Great strategy right here to do that. I think Newell's headed that way. They're in the corner. It's a tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
In normal times, even a smaller guy's guarding you, it's a tough place. Get the ball in.
So Georgia's going to put Godfrey on Jones. And Newell will indeed. Oh, boy. Jones and Godfrey.
They've been going at it for a little while.
Yeah, they have. And the official's just going to step in here.
Yep. Jones initiated that one. Godfrey initiated earlier, so going to the fouls.
So it'll be Johnson. He's able to get it in. Plenty of time to shoot here. Dubinsky, nice move past Kane. That baseline jumper won't go. Big call here. And the point South Carolina State's way. Boy, Georgia trailing at the half by 17. The Bulldogs within one. 9:12 to go. These Bulldogs from South Carolina State have been tremendous here today. Newell again guarding the inbounds passer. Dubinsky gets open a little bit too strong. And here's Dimmery, who has been the MVP for Georgia here in this second half. Dogs with a chance to take the lead.
Dubinsky's made some big shots, big answers. And boy, that would have been a big one for South Carolina State if he could have converted that one.
Here's Dakota LaFew. Georgia's led for less than 2 minutes in the game. Dimmery against the double. Gets in deep. Lob. Godfrey. The baby hook just short. And there's Jones with a big rebound for South Carolina State.
And South Carolina State is really impressed tonight, being so aggressive on the glass, really battling the boards.
Just hard to play from behind the whole time. That's what Georgia's doing. South Carolina State's been tremendous today. Johnson, Jones, bucket good, and the foul.
Oh, he needed that one personally, just on an individual basis. He needed to finish, get his play, and get to the free throw line, and Anson's kind of quiet the crowd down here.
So Jones with just his second field goal. And when you're behind the whole time, if you've got that chance to take the lead, even if you wind up losing it again, you got to get it. And Georgia didn't, and now you feel like, well, we're chipping away, and now a chance for South Carolina State to go up 4.
Yeah, Jones goes to the free throw line a lot. He hasn't tonight. Only been there once, missed it. But typically, he goes to the free throw line 7, 8 times a game.
But he is the team leader in blocks, rebounds, scoring, second in steals, third in assists. Misses that foul shot. R.J. Godfrey with the rebound. Big time bucket, though, by Jones. And here's Lawrence, unimpeded. The C's part, and Georgia back within 1.
Wow, that's not a good pull read by Lawrence, but you're South Carolina State. That play's going to be rerun and rerun and rerun in film session. Major breakdown.
8 minutes to go. McCarty, here's Jones again. The big man can't finish, and it's R.J. Godfrey all over the backboard. That's his 5th rebound. Georgia with a second chance to take the lead in this second half. Montgomery, Godfrey, Lawrence off a screen, through traffic, stumbling, hooks it around, out of bounds, and Georgia, second time with a chance to take the lead, a miss and a turnover, and the Bulldogs from Orangeburg still lead it, and they've got the ball. 55-54, a thriller here at Athens on the SEC Network.
Highlight reel right there, hitting those 2 set threes. Beautiful. One came off a hustle offensive rebound where he repositioned himself. This is what they need out of Silas Demery if it's this team's going to contend for an SEC championship.
Well, great minds think a lot alike, and the points you were making, I think Mike White obviously did the same, and that includes inside touches, Slime.
Yes, sir. Georgia now up 30-16 with paint points. That was not that way at halftime.
It is a 1-point lead for the South Carolina State Bulldogs. They dominated the first half. Georgia controlling the second. Jones tipped away. South Carolina State's getting a lot of loose balls. Great spin move. Surreal with the block. South Carolina State wanted the goaltend. Teal with arms extended. Georgia with a third chance to take the lead. On the first two, it was a miss and a turnover. So we'll see if Georgia can get over the hump with 7 minutes to go. Lawrence drives, and it's Georgia by 1, and the foul.
Yeah, good decision making by Lawrence, a veteran player. Read the pick and roll, was patient up there, let the pace and positioning play out, and a great drive to the basket.
Boy, Georgia doing a good job on Lawrence's last 2 hoops, screening to give him the open lane.
Yep. Weak side defense for South Carolina State been lacking there. They'll have to tighten that up here down the stretch, but Dogs finally in the lead.
Again, Georgia led for just 1:52 of this game. South Carolina State for over 25 minutes. In fact, the last time Georgia had the lead as Lawrence converts the old-fashioned three-point play. The Dogs went up by 1. South Carolina State got a 3, and that was part of that 20-2 run to end the first half. We'll see if Teal and the Bulldogs from Orangeburg can answer. Here's Krosky. Good feed underneath. Surreal with that last-second bat away.
A lot of deflections. That's something the team, the coaches track. And that tends that you're paying attention, your weak side help. And those deflections can turn into turnovers and the fast breaks. High percentage shots.
Lawrence for the interception. 1 against 2. He'll challenge Jones and score with a spectacular move.
Wow.
And that is number 4 on South Carolina State's best player. And it has been Demery and Lawrence in the second half.
It really has. Lawrence, again, just veteran, knows the game. The last 3 based on out of bounds for South Carolina State. They used Jones as a push off and just threw out to him. He anticipated, got the steal, and what a finish.
By the way, first half, Demery and Lawrence were both 1 out of 2 at the foul line with 1 point. Lawrence with 11 in the second half, Demery with 10.
That's right.
Nearly identical stat lines.
Yeah.
And it's Georgia by 5. Well, let's see if South Carolina State can fight back here. Krosky to Jones. I like the move of keeping Jones on the floor here. He gets the feed, goes up strong, and finishes against Surreal.
Put that shoulder right in his chest. That's a challenge, a shot blocker. They lose the ability to block shots right there. Again, good design play by South Carolina State.
They do not go gentle into that. Good night. Drayton Jones now with 6. The Georgia lead at 3. Lawrence and Demery have combined for 21 in the second half. Kane. They've done a nice job defending the starting guard. Lawrence, turnover. I think Asa Newell thought he was going to shoot. Newell was going to the rack.
He was. He figured he was hot. Teammate, you're hot, buddy. Shoot it.
Yeah, so Blue Kane has been held scoreless. So that's in the first half, another big part of this lead. Kane, Lawrence, and Demery had a total of 2 points.
That's amazing.
Incredible.
The Kane had a couple good looks from the 3, just couldn't knock him down, and foul trouble and in and out.
Here's Teal to McCarty. McCarty guarded by Newell. Jones right of the circle. A 3 would tie it. Teal gets a screen. Nice job on the pick and roll, and Jones going to go to the line. That play's been around since Dr. Naismith in the old peach basket, and it still
That's
works.
It still does.
And Santo Surreal with the foul.
Really good action here by South Carolina State. Beautiful pass. Cyril thought he had a jump ball, but Jones got knocked around there from the behind.
We can make them both. It's a one-point game. Swish. Really do like Jones's game. He's just a sophomore from Houston. Speaking of Houston, great digging by Meg Powell. The last win of this magnitude for South Carolina State, they beat the Houston Cougars 10 years ago in December of 2014.
Trying to pull off another one today. They're in it.
And that's 4 straight from Jones. I like that. Hey, you fall behind, go to your guy.
That's right.
And he just got them 4 points on their last 2 trips. So from 60-55 to 60-59, a little 1-2-2.
Coach Martin changing that defense, giving them a different look.
Here's
Lawrence penetrating too much.
Screen from Godfrey. Demery in the corner. They extend it with Jones. Double team. He's in a tough spot. Nice pass. Newell finishes and draws a foul. Just a twisting action from Asa Newell. And McCarty with the foul. And that's one of those, that play by Newell when he's so deep under the basket, it takes you back to the great leapers with that dexterity. Sometimes you might be a little lost, but just go up and he can hang so long you can find your way. Number 21 used to be able to do that.
Absolutely. But Newell's got really strong hands. Again, he finishes on contact right there. He is left-handed. The kid hit him on the right arm, so he's able to finish with his left hand.
Asa Newell, there you go, nice stroke.
And Demery, credit him on that situation. He got trapped on the baseline, not a place you want to be very often, but was patient to see if somebody would cut, make a move to the basket, and Asa Newell did, and he found him.
Asa Newell now with 7 points, and the Georgia lead is 4. 2-possession game with just over 5 to play. Deflection, another loose ball for South Carolina State. McCarty against Newell, and here's Jones. Jones against Godfrey, great matchup. There's Steele, Montgomery, 2-on-1. LeFew with a powerful jam. Dogs by 6.
Again, Montgomery does a great job. You don't want to run the handoff play near Montgomery. He gets his hands on the basketball. Great finish by LeFew.
It's 65-59, Georgia with its biggest lead of the game. And Johnson and South Carolina State will call timeout with 4 minutes and 33 seconds to go. And South Carolina State wants the full timeout as we head into this home stretch. And Georgia will slide all the points you hit. Defensively, defense, creating offense, inside touches, and finishing in transition.
So many different guys for Georgia made an impact this second half. And good to see the numbers. That's a respect to their depth of their bench. Guys who come in and make plays. Again, defense was going to win it. Only way Georgia will get back in this game is up their defensive game. They sure have in the second half.
Here we go. LeFew's got 10. Montgomery's got 9. Demery with 11. Lawrence with 12. 10 for Godfrey. Newell with 7. So really balanced stat. It's been a relatively low-scoring game for the way Georgia's been scoring this year.
Yeah, for a game that seems like it's had a lot of possessions in it. The scoring has been low. But Demery, again, 10 points, 11 points this half, right? So they didn't have a bad first half. He'd be around 20, but it looks like it's going to be a balanced scoring attack for Georgia with no one true breakout player in the game. Again, a lot of guys making contributions. Silas Demery, in my opinion, just a difference maker this half.
Totally agree that Lawrence fed off of that. Georgia averages 83 a game. 5 players average in double figures, and 3 players average between 6 and 9. There's just a lot of different weapons that Mike White can lean on a given night.
That's right. That's what you try to build your team. Again, LeFew, Montgomery, they embrace being guys from off the bench. They're game changers, right? LeFew with his three-point shooting, good decision-making when he drives to the hole. Montgomery with all the things he does, rebounds, deflections, steals, drives to the basket, dunks, all the great momentum plays. Those guys are dangerous, and a lot of the coaches in the SEC have a lot of respect for those guys that come off the bench for them.
They feed Jones again. Great battle with Godfrey. Loses a handle, gets it back. Jones on the floor. What's the call? That's a charge. And Jones has fouled out. So Jones fouls out with 8 points. He had the big bucket and 2 free throws to take it from 60-55 to 60-59. Since then, Georgia scoring 5 in a row. He's a heck of a player.
He's got a tough night tonight, not his usual game, a tough time finishing around the rim tonight. And a tough call. I mean, the block charge call is the toughest call an official has to make in a basketball game. I know what's tough for him was he felt like he took a charge at the other end, had been established. I personally thought he was. I thought it was a charge, and down here, Godfrey kind of seeking the charge more than Jones out of control. So that's tough when you're Jones. There's 2 fouls on you right there. You feel like, goodness gracious, I thought I did the right thing.
50-50, both go against him. Here's Montgomery quickly attacking behind the back feet. The hesitation and jam from R.J. Godfrey.
The Dogs are having fun now. Beautiful pass.
And this crowd at the Stegman Coliseum can breathe a little bit with a lead at 8. Under 4 to play.
Well, my grandson's a little happier now. He was crying at halftime because the Dogs were losing. Now he's happy.
With the drive. And another steal. Montgomery breaking away and fouled back in rear court. And this is going to be on Johnson. And Montgomery and McCarty share a couple of pleasantries. R.J. Godfrey driving Georgia on the front line. Great feed. Little mustard on that one. The hesitation. It's Georgia by 8. Home stretch on the SEC Network. Well, the Dogs dominating the second half. The veteran guards delivering, and Tyron Lawrence has been lights out. Great drives, and Slime, he is a tremendous defender. That defense creating offense for Georgia.
Absolutely. Denver got him going in the second half, but Lawrence, when at that initial comeback, man, he took the game over to 3. Great, the veteran, the great anticipation defensively, knew what they were going to run, get the steal. What a second half for him. And again, what a difference he's been all season. Just bring that veteran presence. He's been through the grind at Vanderbilt. He knows what it takes to win. Again, he's always assigned the top player from the other team, perimeter player from the other team. So again, a lot on his shoulders, but he has been nothing but productive this season.
And Mike White, he'll have his staff. They do a great job with the analytics. The most underrated number in basketball is your offensive efficiency rate, your points per possession. It's through the roof in the second half for the Dogs.
So many possessions in a row, 5 out of 7, 8 out of 9. We talked earlier about just winning those 4-minute games, right? Making a 4-minute game between media timeouts. And Georgia's done it throughout the second half.
Well, you've been keeping track. It was 12-5. It was 10-5. Just chipping away, away.
Yep, Bill Nine now up 8 after being down 17 at half.
Well, and I thought it might be, when we talked about this around 11, that it might be with Georgia down 6. It might be a little greedy to think, could you get it at around 7 or 8? Well, Georgia got it. And on the third chance to take the lead, the Dogs finally did. Montgomery hits her. That's a confident stroke, by the way.
Yep. And Georgia's, again, been outstanding defensively so far this season. And they weren't in the first half. I'm sure there's a lot of discussion about that at halftime. But, again, you challenge your players. And then, again, I've said it many times. I'm going to say it again. But Silas Demery, this is what he has to do to raise Georgia's profile where they've been the last couple seasons as a team at the end of the conference play to get them in the top half of that league, contend for an SEC championship. Demery's got to be the guy that shows that leadership.
A good screen out high. Teal with the drive, tries to go underneath. It's McCarty, back for Dubinsky. Good kiss with the finish, challenging Newell. I really like Wilson Dubinsky. He averages 8 a game, 10 off the bench here today. So he's their version of Dakota LaFew for South Carolina State.
Yeah, he does a nice job. Nice steal there.
All right, South Carolina State down 7. McKenzie leaves it short. Race for the rebound, LaFew to Newell. Urgency here from South Carolina State. Look at Newell with the handles. Taking it all the way. Slon, he looked like big game James Worthy right there.
He's a versatile player. He can do a lot of things. What a great drive there.
Teal. Look, how about Teal, Johnson, and Dubinsky all coming off the bench?
That's right.
Those 3 guys have been lights out for South Carolina State.
That might be reevaluated. I don't know. They have played well. Teal especially, really in the first half. He lifted them early in the basketball game once he came in.
Demery for LaFew. Georgia dominating the second half. Demry with the drive. Can't finish this one. R.J. Godfrey. Dubinsky ties him up. And the arrow going to South Carolina State. Godfrey's been fantastic here in the second half. And it's taken everybody for Georgia. I mean, it's taken the 5 on the floor. It's taken everybody off the bench. You get down by 17. It's not just 1 or 2 guys who can bring you back. It's taken everybody.
Has to. Godfrey's answered the bell on the rebounding margin, getting to the glass, getting to the boards. Georgia was down 2 in rebounding margin in the first half. Now they're up 3.
So that's +5 in the second half. And it feels like it's more than that because Georgia's shooting for a higher percentage, not as many chances at offensive boards.
That's right. Credit South Carolina State for battling. They have really done a heck of a job.
They played a great boards. Game. They sure have. And without their top player, Jones, who's fouled out. Here's Teal against Demry. Now Georgia extending with pressure. Trying to make South Carolina State at least eat up clock. Under 10. Everett with a head fake, a finish, and a foul. Great move. Dropping towards the baseline off the pump fake. And for Asa Newell, that'll be his 3rd.
And when you attack a shot blocker, you got to either pump fake or get masterful separation. And right there, he did a beautiful job on the head fake. Get Newell to leave his feet. Great finish.
107 seconds to go, Slot. It's just a 5-point game.
Yeah, it's not over. Dubinsky and Everett are fighting hard, and they're very demonstrative.
You think with a make, do they jump into pressure?
I think so.
He missed it. Rebound. Everett has it, and he draws a foul, so he'll go back to the line. So Asa Newell just picks up 2 fouls in 2 seconds.
Yeah, South Carolina State hustling to the glass. Looked like couldn't grab it, kept it alive, knocked it out.
Is that 6-7 loose balls that they've gotten
easily
in the second half?
Yeah. That's a credit to Coach Martin. That's, their culture, their style of play. And I said in the first half, they're first to the floor. This is how they're going to play. It's going to win them a lot of basketball games.
And Everett for the 1-and-1. Down 5. Yes. But you know what this feels like? This feels like a 3 versus 14 first-round NCAA tournament game.
Nerve-wracking.
The big boy was way down. Now you get the lead, but now here comes the little guy.
They're not
back.
giving up. They haven't quit. They haven't said, "Oh, you passed us. We're done."
Yeah, when it was 9, like I said, everybody kind of.
This be one possession right here.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Breathes a little bit. Oh, and he missed it. Demry with the rebound. Georgia up 4. They still come with pressure, though. 100 seconds to go. 70-66 Georgia leading South Carolina State. A possessions game. LeFew guarded by Teal. Lawrence, Georgia's guards, been tremendous in the second half. Here's Godfrey. Great pass to Newell, and it's Georgia by 6. And a timeout. Mike White going to set up that defense. Well, we talk about Georgia's guards. You combine that with the touches, and Newell and Godfrey have been deadly in the second half as well.
Yeah, Georgia's assist to turnover ratio in the second half so much better. Beautiful basketball, moving it, reading the defense, and Newell with a flush and finish.
So the Dogs leading it by 6. Couple of missed free throws for South Carolina State. And I don't think the Bulldogs from Orangeburg are at the point where they have to shoot the 3. I do think that's the first look for them coming down, though.
Yeah, you're going to run so you don't have Jones in the game anymore, who would be your inside touch guy. They've done a lot of nice job, ball reversals and finishing with some handoffs. That kind of gave us some cushion. Then we'll get a shot off. Dubinsky see if he's back in. Yes, he's back in with Teal. So look for something made for Dubinsky here. He's made some big shots. He's answered Georgia several times throughout the game. He just had a short breather.
Assist to turnover ratio to Slon's point, 4-9 for Georgia in the first half, 9-5 here in the second. And the thing, too, as you said, they were batting 1,000. South Carolina State getting a bucket off of every turnover.
Yes.
I mean, that is getting live ball turnovers, great looks in transition. So Georgia leads by 6. Pressure now coming from the Bulldogs of Athens.
One of the interesting, there's no fluky stat in this game.
No.
Why it's not like they've shot 60% from 3, and that's why they're in the game. It's just been these are stat lines that you see from conference games.
Great drive. drive and the finish. They're going to say no basket.
Offense, they didn't have to do it.
No, I thought it was going down, and Krosky is upset. Are they going to look at this one? I think they are.
Yeah, that was not smart. It was going to rim around and go in. He didn't need to touch it again.
By the way, that's another one I know. We love talking about rules change, slime. We love the game. Internationally, that's a good basket there.
That's
and
illegal.
I know through the years there have been discussions on it, but that's one thing
Previous play is
they've
under
held
review
on
for
to
basket
here.
interference.
That you still, either side, any contact when it's in the cylinder. If the defense touches it, it's a bucket. If the offense does, it's no basket. Krosky on the drive. Yeah, that's going to be no bucket.
Yeah, and Newell was smart enough to keep his hand. He was about to go for it, and he pulled those hands away.
And McCarty knew it, too.
He knew it.
He got that body language.
Even his teammates holding his head. McKenzie grabbed his head like, why?
The initial, that's kind of like when the teacher calls her and goes, I didn't do it. What's your first answer? So minute 3, and that was not only in the cylinder, that was on
critical.
the rim.
That was critical for South Carolina State to score there.
From the SEC or ACC or Big Ten fits, just like they've done to Georgia here tonight. The officials have done a really good job communicating here this afternoon.
Put a little extra time on the clock.
So they'll bump it up to 103. Also the experience, Slon, I think with LeFew, with Lawrence, with Godfrey, with Demery, the number of games they've been in, whether it's at Georgia or other schools, and that's been a big help for Asa Newell.
Yes. Yeah, you want to be in a situation, you practice it, and maybe, so far in non-conference play, you've
Previous
had
play
2 or
is
3 games.
confirmed, no basket. It'll be Georgia ball on the baseline. The game clock will be set to 104.
So 104 to go.
And LeFew cannot run the baseline here. Somebody's got to
remind
remind
him
him
of that.
Yeah.
Thinking of my man Kendall Ryan against
Oh,
Tech.
no, man. I'm the last person who told him. I told him not to run it before he stepped out there. He still did. That just shows you that 17,000 people are screaming and going crazy. Anything can happen.
Larry Bunson goes, what a time to take a stroll.
Yeah. And the officials, now in this day and age, they do tell.
You're set.
They do a little coaching. They get their opportunity to coach.
So 104 on the clock, 72-66. When that Tech game was played at the Omni.
Oh, awesome games.
So
many great ones.
Hugh Durham and Bobby Crimmins. Hold your spot. LeFew in for Demery. Double team, great pressure here, as has been the case all game. Lawrence. Now Georgia trying to flip it. And nearly. But Teal whistled for the reach. Oh, nearly a steal and a try for 3. Now, this is big right here, Slon. The difference between a 2-possession and a 3-possession game.
It closes it out. There's not enough time, right?
Yeah.
Usually could be something fluky can happen.
Right.
And apparently last night in the Utah State, San Diego State, something did. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was wild how they pulled it out, and they had no chance to win with under a minute to go.
Well, and you know how it goes. Momentum, Kirby always says it is such a real thing. You hit a 3, you get a steal, you get another 3 as Lawrence hits it. Then all of a sudden that doubt starts to creep in.
That's right.
Lawrence now with 13 points. Tyron Lawrence out of Monticello, Georgia. What an impact he's had. And around the iron and through, Georgia by 8. The big lead has been 9. South Carolina State led by 17 at intermission. Clock working against the South Carolina State Bulldogs. Teal with a drive and a turnover. Lawrence bumps that one away into the belly of Newell, and Newell fouled on the play. I think they get Teal again.
His ankle got tied up somehow.
And Georgia's trainer, Yoshi Saito, does a fantastic job, still down at the end of the bench. As Newell is going to try and walk that one off. He is a tough kid. You would think in this one as well, they're going to give that foul to McCarty, not Teal. So he's fouled out of the game. But no, Mike White, well, first thing Mike White saying, let's finish this game and get the win. But the pressure, what South Carolina State's done defensively, teams in the SEC are going to take note.
That's right. Can they be disruptive? Can get Georgia out of their patterns? They're very uncomfortable offensively in the first half, but more balanced in the second half. Attacking it, so
Georgia had 24 at the half. Georgia scored 50 in the second half. Really been a tale of two halves, and all credit to South Carolina State. As Slon said, not fluky. And once Georgia got the lead, when Georgia went up 9, these guys did not go away. They've been able to punch back. And here's Asa Newell stepping to the stripe. Georgia leading by 8. Now he could make this a 4-possession game. Asa Newell with 11, all in the second half. So he picked up 2 early fouls. One of the top recruits in college basketball. Newell and his family, including his brother Jaden, a member of this team. His first foul shot is good. Spent 6 years here in Athens. Native of Destin, Florida, but always wanted to get back, and just a crown jewel for Mike White in this program.
A really great get, and those connections, you play up on those connections, you find somebody's got a connection to the area, the school, and you capitalize on it in the recruiting process.
Asa Newell, second one. Misses this one off to the left. Everett has played well off the bench. South Carolina State's bench has been terrific here today. Here's Teal. And that's going to be a reach and a foul. I believe this will be on LeFew. It will be. So free throws coming in. That's one thing you don't want to do when you got the lead. You don't want to foul and stop the clock. We always call that a chance for free points. Scoring with the clock stopped. So here's Teal. And now Montgomery back. Slon, quick update on double-figure scores. Newell with 12, Godfrey with 12, Lawrence with 14, Demery with 11, Montgomery with 10, LeFew with 10. That's 6 into double digits for Georgia. And here's Teal, who's got 11. Teal, Johnson, and Dubinsky all into double figures for South Carolina State, all off the bench. Johnson's been held scoreless in the second half. Teal has been clutch. I think we might see more and more of Teal, who has played a ton of minutes here. He started 4 games, averages 18 minutes, but I like what he's able to do, as you mentioned, or just disruptive on defense. Got a lot of energy.
And I think Coach Martin may use him like Coach White uses Montgomery. You know what? Right now, you add more quality. Your minutes at the end of the year might be second or third on the team, minutes played, but we need you to come off the bench to kind of ignite us, spark us a little bit. But your minutes won't go down, and you're going to finish games, too.
And a reach and a foul. Georgia trying to equal its largest rally back of the season. 17 previous against St. John's. 35 seconds to go. 75-68. Georgia leading South Carolina State, trying to put this one away. And Georgia 0 again on equaling the school record, as the free throw is good for LeFew. He's got 11, and the best start for a Georgia team since 1931. And the Bulldogs went 23-2 that year. That was the last time a Georgia team began a season 12-1. LeFew hits them both.
We got a big challenge. The first opening conference game is on the road at Ole Miss. We took a tough loss at a good Memphis team on the road yesterday.
Teal has that one swatted away.
I hope that game is played before the students get back to Oxford. And you go there and sneak a road win out.
Well, Ole Miss, what Georgia's done now, putting the students filling in the lower court across the bench. Ole Miss and Auburn did that. We saw Florida do that years ago, and Mike White wants a timeout. And just the difference that's made. And I know Josh Brooks, Mike White were so proud, but some opposing players said last season was one of the toughest atmospheres they faced.
Our students respond, especially at the beginning of the semester. They come out, get behind the team. And last year, they kept coming back.
Well, not the easiest of starts here in conference play. Look at those rankings here. Number 16, number 10, number 12, number 1, number 2. When Kentucky's the 3rd highest ranked team you play over a 5-game stretch.
Wow.
Holy smokes.
Yes. Hey, that's what it's all about. It's why you come play in the SEC. You want that competition. You want to play against other great teams. You want to be challenged. You want to see if you can rise to the occasion and have big games against that kind of caliber of competition. But Coach White scheduled up a little bit from last year, this year. Played more Power 5 schools.
Right,
Big East is Power 5 to me. And that's going to make them better. Get them ready to go on that road in Oxford next week.
And another foul there. That's going to be on R.J. Godfrey. So, again, a chance for points with the clock stopped. And Mike White's thinking, I don't care if we win by 1. Let's just get to the finish line and get in the locker room and get back to work. You know, that first game back after Christmas can be a bit of a wild card. And then with the style that South Carolina State plays, this thing was 5-2, 3.5 minutes in. Dubinsky had an excellent game, knocks down the free throw. He's got 11. Native of Ottawa, Ontario. See so much international influence in the game.
He's one competitive dude. He's really been competitive and fighting the battle tonight.
Bang. Great stroke. So Dubinsky with a dozen. 77-70, and they're still going to foul just in case. Not quite at that point yet. This is where you do hope to see it be a single-digit final tally there. South Carolina State's played. So, again, they've led for a majority of the game. Here's Godfrey. I think Georgia's just going to dribble this one out now. Oh, they foul. No. Georgia's going to dribble it out.
When I was at Mercer, I was in this situation. We'd battled a Power 5 team like this. I mean, this, don't foul.
Don't foul.
77-70 looks pretty good.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
yes,
it was a defeat, but it's modern. No one them get over 80 or spread it out to 10-point victory. So
yeah, single digits. That's a definite win for South Carolina State.
That's right. You're not going to win without fouls. That's not going to win you the game.
R.J. Godfrey, he'll continue to stuff the stat sheet. He's got 13. Rebound count at 6. That's the thing with Godfrey. You feel like he can give you that every night.
That's right.
Nice stroke.
Yep. Georgia +1 in rebounds for the game. So, again, great credit to South Carolina State. The battle of teams, one of the best in the country in rebounding margin.
And here's Johnson with a drive and a whistle and a foul, so he'll shoot 2.
I'm Coach Martin. I'm telling you guys, you do not foul.
Do not foul.
Do not want them to get to 80.
No, that might be what Coach Martin might look to Coach White. Don't dunk it. We won't foul.
We'll back up. That's right. We'll back up.
So here's Jaden Johnson, who hit that 3 at the end of the first half. That was just electric. And that's his first point of the second half.
Yeah, what a first half for him. Again, I hope his people were watching. And again, for the coaching staff, South Carolina State, you can build confidence in him as they enter league play.
Well, you definitely feel like as he hits both, they've got a lot of good pieces. And you nailed it before the game. You said they've been very competitive with their peers. And
that's right.
Certainly played to a high plateau here today.
Yes.
8.8. Hopefully that was our last stoppage in play.
They played Xavier close at Xavier.
Yep.
One of the big games there.
All right, Georgia going to win this one. It was a heck of a battle. Great game here today in Athens.
Great game, Jeff. Great job calling this one.
And the Georgia Bulldogs off to their best start since 1931. And it was a tale of 2 halves. South Carolina State from the MEAC led by 17, but Georgia was able to chip away and finally take control and close it out in the second.
That was good.